Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sin here, and today I've got just a story time for you. I tried to record this with gameplay. I tried to do it with Minecraft, and Minecraft seemed fine. I was getting a little bit distracted because my fucking ADHD just goes wild. But I was just a little bit distracted, and it just didn't really work out. And also my audio bugged. Tell you a story about a teacher that I had quite a while ago. So we had this teacher that she was the absolute worst teacher in the world to this day. I mean, I've had like worse teachers, but usually they get fired like instantly. Like not even like fucking few days into the fucking, conversation or like relationship or whatever. Like usually we're like, okay, this girl needs to go. Well, this was one of the teachers that you know those teachers that you're like, why the fuck is she a teacher? She was one of those teachers. So she taught elementary school. I was in 4th grade. I was probably about 10ish maybe, or somewhere around there at that age. And she would do this thing where she would have one lesson and then she would go straight to the next, and then like 10 minutes later go straight to the next. So she was cramming them all up into this super condensed area, like super fucking fast, just rapid fire. And she would go, and one day she goes, and we're doing history or something, and then she randomly switches to science, and I'm not over switched yet, because a lot of the times I zone out. Even when I'm playing games, I'm trying to make commentaries and record, I still zone out a lot, which, I mean, it isn't that big of a problem. I have editing to help me and all that, but it's just something that happens. It just, you can't fucking help it. So, I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of zoned out, and this teacher goes, and she, like, calls on me. She's like, Jay, why aren't you on the new lesson? Why aren't you on science like 4-1 or whatever? And I'm like, what? We switched to science? Like it looks like I'm just an ass of a student. Like I just didn't give a fuck. But really, I just didn't know because this teacher wouldn't tell us anything. And so everybody's like starting to giggle around, but a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not on the right lesson either, because a lot of people were like scrambling to get their books out, and they're kind of just behind because this teacher won't, slow down. And the class has asked multiple times, well, like, she'll be like, what do you think I could be doing better as a teacher? And we're like, slow the fuck down. But of course, that's not what she does. She'll do something else and think that that's the big old argument. That's the big old thing that she needed to do, was that. And so eventually, I go and like she calls my parents or something, and I think I'm failing, or like I think I officially dipped to the point where like if I had one more zero or one more bad grade, I was gonna start failing. So my parents get called, and they're like, she's like, hey, look, your kid's gonna start failing, because usually I was a B to C student. I never really dipped below, first off a D, and then second off so low of a D that I was gonna start failing. I started that a little bit later on. This teacher, she would go and she would have this thing where she would talk like she was the victim, or she had a victim complex pretty much. And this teacher goes and she gives her victim complex, how I was a bad student and all this and that, which really at the time I wasn't. I was like 10. I was a pretty good student back then. And so I go and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. And I tell my dad, I'm like, look, she changes subjects too fast. I can't keep up. We've asked her to slow down. She doesn't slow down. Nothing is working that we've tried. My dad's like, okay. And my dad goes to the principal, and like apparently multiple reports have already been made. So my dad pretty much cusses out the principal. Like, why the fuck haven't you fired her? Multiple students are complaining, and those are the students that can step up and can complain. Like, some students can't complain because like their parents just don't care or whatever. So a few weeks go by, and it's around Christmas time. All of a sudden, she comes in the class the day before Christmas break, and she's crying, just sobbing. That just seems out of character. So we were like, what's going on? And she was like, um, whenever y'all get back for winter break, you're gonna have a new teacher. So we were like, what do you mean a new teacher? Like, after Christmas break, there's only like 2 months left, and half of it's recap, and then the like a week of it's exams, and it's a really bad time to get a new teacher. Well, she's like, yeah, I'm getting fired. I don't know what I did, blah blah. She's crying. Yeah, and she's crying to these children that don't know what's going on, and that she's crying to them. She's like, oh, I don't know what I did wrong, and blah 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 blah. Just talking all of this, pretty much just shit. Like, I was one of the best teachers in here, and blah 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 blah. So, eventually, we're just like, I don't fucking know what to tell you. I'm 10. I don't have to worry about a job. I don't have to worry about a career. And really, at the time, we were excited because we were like, yes, fuck this bitch, because she's getting fired, and we don't have to deal with her ass, switching the subject, not letting us catch up, not being a good teacher. So she goes and she cries, and then my dad like comes back later, and he's like, yeah, we got her fired. And before you think that I am a fucked up person and the classmates were fucked up people, because we were all begging that this bitch gets fired. This one teacher hit me with a trash can, a desk, a stapler. Not hit, not fucking assault hit. But like, she would like reach over me and pick up something, and then on the way back hit me in the fucking head with it. And then I'd be like, ow, what the fuck? And then she was one of the teachers, that had her fucking ass up in your face, and you were just like, and she wasn't an attractive teacher, so that definitely didn't fucking help. And she was one of the teachers that would be like, that's an easy problem. And breathe with her loud fucking breath and hot, nasty ass shit. She could barely brush her teeth. And this isn't a reason to get fired. But when when a class full of students ask you, hey, can you please slow down? We cannot keep up. And it's one of your first years of teaching, slow the fuck down. What in the fuck she thought was going on happened? I don't know. She would bring Fig Newton bars. I cannot eat them to this day because she would bring Fig Newton bars. She'd touch them with her hands. I just felt obligated to eat them. I always felt like I should be nice and eat them, so I'd eat a few. And to this day, I just can't fucking eat them. And she would like leave her shoes. She would walk around barefooted. She had this band-aid on her nose. Bro, this is the nastiest fucking thing in my life. She had this band-aid on her nose that was welded into her nose. If you were in this class with us, which, if you were, you probably helped get this bitch fired, so good job on you. Great job. Give your fucking self a pat on the back. She had a band-aid welded onto her nose, and one day she was talking to me and it fucking started peeling off. Oh my god. And you don't understand, because she must have had so much makeup on. At the time, I didn't understand. I thought it was her fucking skin. I thought it melted into her skin and it was never coming off. I guess at the time it was just the makeup, the amount of makeup she was putting on. It would stick there. Even if the band-aid wasn't sticky, it would just, I can't do it again. But it just stick there and just stay on her fucking nose in the most disgusting manner I've ever fucking dealt with. So, we get the teacher fired, and eventually, the only reason we knew, and we were terrible kids.